right, if you're still with us and if you just joined us, this is still Enterprise Morning on Enterprise TV. And now to our main conversation for today. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Tuesday ordered the reopening of Nigeria's land and air borders with Niger Republic. Presidential spokesman Ajuri Ngelale said in a statement that the decision came on the heels of a directive by the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. Ngelale added that sanctions imposed on all the West African countries have also been lifted with immediate effect. He explained that his principal also approved the lifting of financial and economic sanctions against the Republic of Guinea, following the military coup in Niger Republic on July 26, 2023, which toppled President Mohamed Bazoum. ECOWAS imposed several sanctions on the country last month. The regional bloc lifted some financial and economic sanctions on Guinea and other sanctions on Mali, saying the political and the targeted sanctions on the Niger Republic remain. With me still in the studios is Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid. Thank you so very much for remaining with us today for our main conversation.
Thank you for keeping me.
All right. So let's go into this issue. Couple of months back, of course, we all knew what happened, the toppling of President Bazoum and the impulsive decision of ECOWAS, headed by our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to declare a sanction on the landlocked country in Niger. And of course, after that, they had all the Sahel countries come backing them and telling them, hey, let's form a community against the ECOWAS. And of course, it was successful to some extent. Right now, Nigeria, under the same Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is asking them to come back and opened the land and air borders with Niger. Tell me, do you think that is first a right step in the right direction? And how do you think, if it's possible, the rest of the world would see Nigeria going forward?
And let me admit that for me, it's a right step in the right direction to correct the error that was been early made. Okay. Because I am one of the people who believe that blockage or lockage of a border is a wrong step taken by the ECOWAS generally. The blacklist of those countries from ECOWAS was a rush decision that was not thoroughly thought of. And then those people have made them look like you are not serious. Yes, and then they ignore them. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, let me just put it on record, that the little respect that ECOWAS has been diminished.
Definitely.
Because they will now see that they can only back.
They can bite.
In other words, they've come back to their formats. The threat they made did not work. And because those people ignore them. And it shows that, you see, gone are the days when Nigeria will say, we snitch, another
countries will catch code.
But it doesn't happen these days again. No respect any longer. So the little respect Nigerian has in the community of West Africa, the little respect the ECOWAS itself has in the meaning there, whatever, is gone. Nobody will respect their sanction or whatever again now. So you bring your sanction, we will just leave it, we'll move on our own. They do like Abacha regime when all the world sanction Nigeria because Abacha was in power. He ignored them and we are moving on. At the end of the day, he was there throughout.
Yeah, and of course the economy was even better.
It wasn't better. How many dollars to dollar at that time? I can't remember. The dollar was the exchange rate was there was stability in the exchange rate. The fuel price was not going up and down. It was very stable. So for me, the situation that we find ourselves now, particularly the ECOWAS, is that they make themselves look like a serious person and people don't know what they want to do. So Nigeria now reopen the borders to Niger. That effort of closing it has to an extent damaged our relationship in a way. And then I believe with what has happened now, they will see it as, look, they cannot do anything. They can only talk. We have ignored them. We damned their threat at that time, and nothing happened. Especially when those actions, when it happened, the citizen were in support of it. In all the states, all the countries where it happens, they were all in support of it. So if the style of government, for me, I think it's a matter of the country, not by any fiat from any word or whatever. I say this is a mode of governance you must practice. If they believe that the military regime will be better for them, it is for their once as long as the people of the country the citizens are agreeable to it, we should allow it to rest and to be. Because the difference between democracy and the military is that they didn't come in through the democratic process. But if the people who they will be ruled over and say we don't mind, which is our choice, then it becomes a democracy because it's supported by the people. So what is the essence of democracy that there is no dividend to the citizen? What is the essence of democracy that you don't get results? What is the essence of the democracy that only few people who have access to the government are the one benefiting it? There's nothing in that. But if you have other system of government that you can practice, that you believe it will give dividend to everybody, so be it. So we should not allow anybody to dictate to us what you see. This foreign thing that people are following, they made us lose some of our culture. But they don't release their own.
Exactly.
If you notice, if you watch it when the King of England now it's no longer king, it's not like queen now. We have King of England.
Charles.
When it was being the collection was being done, they did all the traditional things that if we are doing it in Nigeria, people will say they are doing exactly. They did everything as if they are doing a traditional coronation in Nigeria. They didn't abandon their own culture. They didn't abandon everything. But in our own, we took their own and then we regulate our own to background. It's in Nigeria that this our country you see people. They say somebody was caught with juju in his house. Where they will still be called an offense to have juju in your house. Or they will say police is checking your pocket. They now find something like a juju. When does it become an offense to have juju in your pocket? I don't think there's no crime in having juju in your house or in your pocket or believing in it or doing sacrifice. There's in the public. I'm not a traditionalist. But there's nothing in the law that says doing sacrifice, placing anything on the road. Whatever, they can charge you for making the public place yes, nuisance. Therefore, it's saying somebody was caught bathing naked or in the middle of the night. It is his choice to bath in the so for me, what I'm saying is that look, we should not allow these people to allow us if you are practicing democracy. Democracy is not a straight jacket thing that you must follow what they are saying. You can adopt, you can modify it to suit your own system. So as far as I'm concerned, ECOWAS, Nigerian government have ridiculed themselves in another way because what they did not yield any results. And for me, I see the Niger, the Burkina Faso, and what Mali as winning this particular one. They gave a threat that they are pulling out, and that worked. And they reconsider, and then so it shows that we did not do anything proper in the first place. That was why we will be able to do. And this somersault policy of is common with our government in this country. You can hear them digress. I want them to digress a bit. Yeah. You can hear the government postponing the implementation of student loan. It shows that they were not well prepared for before now. So almost all the things we are doing is rusting. They are not well thought out.
Yeah. So now let's talk about this very important issue. The president, of course, has always been assumed as someone who takes impulsive decisions, of course, which is part of the reason why immediately the coup happened in Niger. He went ahead and, with the cooperation of those in the ECOWAS, declared sanction on Niger. The question now is, how do you think the president will become relevant in the future in the rest of the West African states going forward?
Yeah, I have said it, that the decision we made by locking them out, by giving them sanction or whatever, did not yield any results. That was why we decided to, even though we said in compliance with the ECOWAS directives or decisions, we are doing that. But do we get anything? Was there any result, anything achieved by that sanction? So as long as nothing was achieved from that sanction, they will not see us as a serious. And if that threat comes another time, nobody will take it seriously. So as far as I'm concerned, for now, nobody is even taking us seriously in Africa. As far as I'm concerned, we're no longer feared or respected the way it used to be. There are only few people who, for their personal gain, are looking at us for ordinary Niger to look our eyes and say, do a worse. It shows that we are we are no longer respected. So the president needs to think deeply before decisions are taken, particularly decisions of this nature, so that it won't that we can redeem our image or we will ridicule ourselves more in the community of nations. What we are doing now today will not give us results, and the president has damaged his reputation to an extent.
Now, of course, we all know that Niger has always depended on us. You know, it's a landlocked country. They depend on us from export and import of whatever it is that they have. When the sanction was declared, Morocco, all right, gave them a hand and said, hey, okay, since you're a landlocked country, you can use our seaport, all right, and so on and so forth. Now, do you think there's the possibility of the Sahel country, especially Niger, coming back to ECOWAS, knowing that they have made up their mind before now to say they don't want to have anything to do with ECOWAS again?
Because they look at it and see that what is the benefit we are getting here. If they, before you take decision, you look at the pros and cons of it, the advantage and disadvantages of it. If you look at it and say, look, being a member, what is even my benefit? Because for me, as a Nigerian, I don't even know what we are benefiting now. We are Nigerians, we are not benefiting much. Only few people in government are benefiting from the relationship we are having in that. So the Sahel, having looked at it, probably they believe that, look, we are not getting anything here. So if we live here, nothing will happen. So it depends on what how you look at it. If they look at it and say, look, we have something to benefit from here. We need to go and do that. So for now, I'm not sure they are missing. They are missing ECOWAS. ECOWAS is not showing leadership. They are not showing leadership. They are not doing anything. They are not affirming their authority on anything. So there's nothing. Whether you belong to ECOWAS or not, you can do whatever you want to do, and people don't care about it. So they no longer respect ECOWAS resolution and pronouncements.
But don't you think
that is the reason why nobody would think of I'm missing anything? They would, and that's why it's easy for Burkina Faso and the Mali and to say you want to leave.
But don't you think this is setting a bad precedence going forward? Because what we have seen right now in these three Sahel countries are military leadership in the country. Don't you think the rest of the West African state would equally gravitate towards military takeover? So knowing that even if ECOWAS comes to say, hey, we will come after you, at the end of the day, they would not do that. Don't you think the possibility of having all the countries, Benin and all the countries, equally going the same route?
Of course. I'm not saying they will go the same route, but of course it's an encouragement for other people to say, well, if these people can do it and then they go away with it, we can also do it and then we'll stand our grants and then we'll be likely go away with it. That is if you have the support of the people. These people are able to go away with it because they have the support of their people to an extent. Because you see, when those takeover was done, it appeared to be jubilations in those countries. So if you are able to do it and your people are happy for it, what is democracy? Like I said earlier, democracy is about people. So people are proving it by their action. Shows that democracy is in another form being practiced. So,
as a lawyer, you might be very diplomatic with this question. No, of course, it's very easy, all right, to call other nations and say, okay, Okay, so let's look at Nigeria now. With the current situation in our country, do you think Nigerians might jubilate?
I'm not a supporter of military takeover.
Okay.
I'm a supporter of anything that will make government give dividends to the people. Why I'm not a supporter?
I mean, the democracy we have is not giving the right dividends to the democracy.
Supporting military, whether to give us results or not. We have tested military regime in this country before. And what is the benefits? What is the difference between those who are the military and the civilian now? Even though if you talk about relatively, they did worse.
So if you just oppose it with the democracy we have,
on what basis would I be calling for military to come and take over? Have I seen any capacity in them? About those who are trained to kill they are not trained to govern. They won't be civil. And then people, we are all one. And they will see themselves as rulers. They do whatever they want to do. So for me, if you say, look at the military, look at this training they have, look at this sense, or look at this governance skill that they have. If you are giving me all those things and say, look, but based on these skills, based on this whatever, they can deliver. I can say, okay, maybe I don't see that they have the skill to govern. They are not trained to do that, and they don't have that skill. So I am not even in a position I will not be happy to, if we are in the military regime, this thing we are saying, whether right or wrong, we won't be able, you will close shop. The shop will be closed. That means we are not in the democratic system. When I say democracy, in those countries where people are allowed to say we are free, we are not free. Yeah, you can even say, as far as I'm concerned, in Nigeria, when you say military, those who in government today, they work with the military regime. Majority of them. They were part of the military regime that we're talking about. Some of them even removed their uniform and put on agbada to become part of us. Some of them intended to become the civilian president, but God was greater than them and didn't allow them to do. But some of them planted their people in position of authority. So in other words, indirectly or directly, some of the militaries are still with us in our civilian clothes. I am not a supporter of military takeover because I have not seen anything that they will do that will be different from what people will have for granted. They are on Nigeria. They are part of this system. They are doing what have they achieved in the responsibility given to them so far.
All right, so let's
the responsibility that has been given to them has now down to security alone. Has been now down to security. Do we have security? The welfare of people is not there. They have only one out of the two major responsibilities of governance, security and welfare. They're giving them one. Take care of this for us. Do we have results? So how will I rest my confidence that they will give us welfare?
All right, so let's post home finally. Let's take a look at the influence of the West, our colonialists. We can't say this and finish up without, of course, calling names in France, the United States, Russia, and so on and so forth. Of course, how do you think the entirety of ECOWAS can survive, especially with these three Sahel countries? Do you still see the imminent danger of other Western countries coming to fill in the blank spaces with the oust of France from the Sahel countries?
You know, those countries you mentioned the other day are those who colonize us in Africa. Those other people you call foreign countries or whatever they are. Whatever they see them interest in any country, they have a reason. They have something to gain from it. They don't just go and interview and say we are interested in this country because we love them. No, it's for their personal gain. So if they have an interest, so I will not be a supporter of saying because this and that we should just. Those people are not doing it for the benefit of the us in Africa. They are doing it for our own purpose, and they are teleguiding us. And it's sad that we are also following them as if we cannot on our own think and do our own thing rightly. For me, I think it is not the right step. We can adopt whatever they are doing that is right. That adoption can be free in line with our own culture and practice. We should not allow them to allow us throw away our own dignity and culture in the name of following the Western principles. I think for me, they will come to any country, support them whenever anything is happening there, so as to get them to their side, and then that's what they are doing for now. That's how you see France and other countries supporting those of the some of the countries that we have military takeover took place.
Very true. Just like we often say, Africa, particularly Nigeria, is one continent and one country with the best form of followership, but with the worst form of leadership. So what Nigeria and the rest of Africa, particularly the ECOWAS, needs is good leadership. Because if we have transparent leadership in our countries, then there won't be any need for coup d'etats, and there won't be any need for closure of land borders, sea borders, air borders, so that as a community we can all enjoy the benefits of good leadership in Africa and around the world. Thank you so very much, Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, for being part of our show today.
Thank you for having me. Before I go, yes, please, let me just say, let me clarify what I said regarding juju. That it's not an offense under our law.
Oh, okay.
It can only become an offense when that juju is used to commit crime. But if it's just found in your body or in your house, that does not become an offense. Because I see police in Nigeria often come out and say they search somebody's house and they find the juju, and then that becomes a crime. That is not a crime. That's our culture. If there's no evidence that he has used that thing to commit evil or do anything contrary to the law, then it's not an offense.
Very good. Thank you so very much for the clarification. And that's just about the time we have for our main conversation today. Please do well to visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com. Like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igubike. Thank you so very much for watching. Bye-bye for me.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.